Hey good people, Bald Head Hierophant here, and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time visiting with me, I hope you choose to stay. Scroll through a few of my other videos, find what reaches out to you, and watch it, okay? I guarantee you that there will be something in that message for you at the very moment that you find it, right? Because all of my messages are timeless. No matter when you find them, there will be something there, if not the whole message, that will feed something that you are inquisitive about, okay? If you are returning, you know I thank you so much. I love my OGs and my returnees, okay? So I am coming on today just to give a good feel-good message, okay? I don't have a particular group of people that I'm speaking to, and I never do, really. A lot of my messages are mostly always for whoever resonates with them. But today I plan on putting out something that is divine, okay? For the beloveds, okay? For everybody. I want everybody to get this message and be able to grasp hold of the good energy that's going to be exuding from it, okay? Because I'm in a good mood. I'm sure y'all can tell energetically I am in a very, very good mood. It's Friday. Why not, right? It's the day of the goddess, Venus Day. And I am a Taurus, okay? With a crap load full of Venusian placements. So Fridays always give me a type of feeling, okay? So I'm going to start off with my cards that give a beautiful divine message to the cosmos, okay? To the god and the goddesses, okay? So let's see what card wants to come out and bliss me and start off this initial reading. Ashe, thank you so much for the spirit of love, the spirit of light, the spirit of joy, and contentment. That's been a word that I've been tapping into here a lot lately when I do my own personal readings, because contentment is important, okay? And I'll get off into that a little later. Hey, hopefully the reading will align with that, right? But contentment is something that elevated people need or should. I don't want to tell anybody what they need to do. Should, or it would behoove you to move toward that word in its entirety, tap into it, rendezvous with it, because when you are content, nothing and no one can remove you from that placement, okay? Contentment comes from within. So no thing outside of you can give you something within you. That means no thing outside of you can take that from you, okay? So let's go. I'm going to shuffle one more time and see what this says. I don't feel like those were the cards I was supposed to take. That was a fluke, so I'm not going to take those. I'm looking out my window, so if you see me peeking over here, I'm peeping my my neighbors. I'm being nosy. Well, not nosy. I can peep the scene, right? Okay. Spirit said that's enough, so we're going to stop right there and see what the card on top is. True nature. True nature. I like that. So let's read it. It says, change me, divine beloved, into one who knows the true nature of our souls. Awaken me to the knowledge of the internal. Let me know my true self as consciousness. Now, I like that. That's absolutely beautiful. And that's absolutely relevant and relative, okay? Relative to my message, the energy that I want you guys to receive from me today. And it really does support the entirety of my channel, because I am one of those that's big on knowing who you are. I actually just did a Instagram message video, recorded an Instagram video yesterday, speaking really on that, talking about being true to you, tapping into you, finding out what you like, finding out who you truly are, because once you tap you, you're never untapped from that. Okay. And one of the main things that people don't understand about knowing who you are, once you connect to that eternal you, nothing outside of you can remove you from that. See, a lot of people are living in falsity and facades. So those things can be taken from you because they're not real. They're delusions. Okay. But when you find you, when your lower self meets your higher self and you come into this neutral point, Nothing and no one can take that from you. Nothing and no one can remove that from you, okay? So I'm also going to pull a few cards from my Angel God deck. Let's see what other energies, okay, want to lend their beautiful, beautiful support, okay? Let's see what other energies want to lend their beautiful support into this message today. Ashe. Here we go. Oh, they wanted to pop out. Okay. Beautiful card. Goddess of the Shadows. I'll show it again, then I'll read. Goddess of the Shadows. It says, what you perceive to be your dark side holds a hidden treasure. What you perceive to be your dark side holds a hidden treasure. Now I'm going to hold both of these cards up together, because isn't it amazing how both of these cards go hand in hand? This is the physical form of this person, and this is the spirit form of this person. Well, this card here is beautifully represented by the energy that we see here, because this side will be considered your hidden side, your shadow side, your true self side, okay? So I can tell what spirit is wanting me to talk to you guys about today, and that is all about tapping the power within you that's not on Earth's stage. It's not on the forefront. It's not the energy that you move in and show the world every day. Most people move in their solar plexus self. That is the solar sign self, your birthday sign, the energy of your it's the energy of, it's the first person energy, okay? It's the energy that you put on, okay? And I say put on, excuse me, you guys, something in my eye. I say put on because who you are in the house and who you are out there are two different energies. So it's almost like we change suits, or we put on a suit to go out there. So this you right here is that suit that you zip up and put on, get it together, make sure it's good and tight and fitted well, and you know you're comfortable in it, and then you go outside. That's your customer service representative self, right? And I'll use myself as an example as far as how your solar sign, your birthday sign, is a representative only. I'm a Taurus. I show up as a Taurus, okay? And because I have a lot of Tauran placements, I'm able to easily move effortlessly in Tauran energy. But who am I at the core? Who am I when I'm just with me? Capricorn. Because my moon self is Capricorn. I'm really a true Capricorn person when I'm not on Earth stage, when I'm not performing, when I am just by myself, which is this energy here. I'm a Capricorn woman. Okay, so you move more in your moon energy, which would be considered your dark self or your hidden self, that treasure self. When you are alone, it's your deepest thoughts. It's some of your darkest thoughts. And don't equate dark to bad. It's just your own energy, untainted and unfiltered and even unhinged, but it's yours. It's not an energy that you feel it and then you make a phone call and have a conversation with people. It's yours. It's not something that you share with everybody. It's you when you take your suit off, your hidden energy, your hidden treasure. So I wanted to break that down because there are so many people that are uncomfortable with that aspect of themselves, okay? Because we haven't ever been taught to grasp and embrace that. We've always been taught to stay on the stage, right? To stay in the limelight, to stay in what I like to call Sambo mode, because that's what it is. You're acting. Sambo was an actor. He acted for the, Well, I won't get off into that, but you don't want to stay in buffoon mode. Okay, there are times when we do have to put that buffoon suit on. I feel like, when you go to school, you got to put the buffoonery on. When you go to work, okay, when you at church, when you are part of brotherhoods and sisterhoods and different community activities, and when you go out there, you do have to put on a different suit, because nobody walks around in their hidden treasure self. Okay, because some people's hidden treasure self is more emotional. Some people's hidden treasure self is more mental. Some people's hidden treasure self is more social, and then some people's hidden treasure self is more reserved and laid back and not easily or readily available to come out and play. Those really, really reserved Cancer moon type people, okay, or even Scorpio moon type people. So anyway, I just brought all of that up to say, when you get home and you take that earth suit off, who you are when you're comfortable in where you're at and with who you are is the true you. And I suggest that you tap into your true nature. There's a lot of magic there. And when I say magic, I'm not talking about, abracadabra, boom, pull the rabbit out the hat. I'm not talking about the Hollywood version, okay, of magic, okay? I am literally and specifically talking about your inner power. It's untapped. It's untapped. You have a reservoir of energy, a reservoir of information, a reservoir of enlightenment that resides in you that is untapped because you have been told to shun that side of yourself. Or if you somehow tapped into it and you tried to move in it effortlessly, you were probably told to put it back because it was to this or to that, because everybody's not comfortable with people living their truths, right? And we're seeing this live out loud movement, okay? I'm not for or against the LGBTQ community. I'm not for it or against it, but I will say this. We are seeing a beautiful expression, okay, of people living their true selves, okay? That's what I take from that movement. Again, I'm not for it or against it. It's not my, I don't have a pony in that race. Okay. That's not my circus. It's not my movement. It has nothing to do with me. So I have nothing to say about it or nothing. It's like I tend to my business. I stay in my lane, but I can observe from afar and see that there are aspects of that movement that's very, reminiscent of how I live my life, which is being true to thyself and allowing my true nature to be what I let lead me now. Okay. It has taken a while, and nobody really ever just jumps straight into their hidden selves without drawing back a little bit before you actually begin to learn to just live in it out loud and live in color. Okay. So I do see that aspect of the LGBTQ community, inspiring people, whether they are part of their community or not. It inspires people to live their authentic selves. Okay. So, the true nature, the true you, the hidden self, the goddess of the shadows. And for the fellas that may tap into this video, the god of the shadow, let him, her out. Because that's a whole nother version of you that you are unaware of, that has information and resources for you that may help you through some of the things that you're enduring or going through or experiencing right now. We are not made to handle everything through what I'm considering first person, which would be that birth sign, that solar sign self. My Taurus self doesn't handle everything. Okay? Some of the things that I endure and experience and encounter throughout the day is passed off to my hidden self, because that aspect of my personality can only be handled, okay, properly by my hidden self, okay? And then, of course, there are certain aspects of experiences that I encounter that my first person self can handle. So you have to know what to call to the front, what to push to the back, okay? Every day we shifting, whether you know it or not. Every day, all day, we're shifting. We're calling different energies to the front to handle different situations. We're calling different energies to the front to talk to different people. Your first person self may encounter someone who is not able to hear how your first person self communicates. So guess what? Your first person self has to go to the back and call up, let's just say, your Mercury self, okay? Because Mercury guides and rules and governs how we communicate, okay? So unless you have the same sign in Mercury as you do in the sun sign, okay? Let's just say that you have Libra as a sun and Libra in your Mercury. Well, that means you're going to communicate the same way. So somebody could ask you a question and you're going to give your response. And if they act like they don't understand, it's going to confuse you because you're like, I just said what I said. There is no remixing it. You want me to repeat it? Because I'm not going to change it, but I will repeat it, okay? So people who operate like that are people who probably have Mercury and Sun in the same sign, okay? But let's just say you are I'll use me for another example. Taurus Sun, but I have an Aries Mercury, okay? So my first time saying something, I'm probably going to say it very nice and very soft and very Venusian-like, okay? Even if I'm gonna be nice, nasty, I'll say that, okay? But if you, for some reason, don't receive what I'm saying, okay? Because I'm patient. So I may give it to you again, very nice, nasty, okay? And sometimes it's just nice, okay? And then sometimes it's just nasty. And then sometimes it's nice, nasty. And that's still when it's operating in a very Tauran type of way, okay? Just depends on what the answer or the question or the response or the communication is. But now, if you push me to the point where you act as if you don't receive how I'm communicating with you, then you're going to get Aries. And Aries energy operates quite differently than Taurus, especially when it's in Mercury. So now you're going to get a very aggressive, octone leveled up response. Okay, so and I know this was not supposed to be, and it isn't, about signs and houses and planets and all of that stuff, but I wanted to break that down because, again, your first person self isn't always who will show up, okay, to represent you. Sometimes your dark, hidden, moon, all of those are the same three aspects, just different words, but it represents the same energy. It's your shadow self, your dark self, is who will come up and talk for you and respond for you. And if that's not heard, then Mercury comes up. So it really all kind of depends on knowing thyself, okay, and moving in your true self, okay. I've always been one of the kind of people that communication is one of my gifts. So speaking directly and nicely in the beginning is something that I'm very accustomed to doing, okay. But again, we live in a world where not everybody receives, clear, efficient, effective communication. So my Mercury has to speak up and talk, okay? And a lot of times, because I am a Capricorn moon, if my Capricorn moon self has to talk, my dark shadow self has to talk, it doesn't like to talk much at all. So if it gets to a point where dark self has to come out and talk, there's not going to be much talking. That's that side of me, or anybody who has a Capricorn moon. That's more facial expression, eyes. It's that kind of language. What? Capricorn moon people, we're not gonna do a lot of Okay, we're not going to do a bunch of, back and forth. And so, it really just depends on what the situation calls for. Didn't mean to get off into the rambling about myself, but I just wanted to show examples on which versions of yourself could stand up and represent you at any given time. So true nature, let's get back on track. True nature, that's a part of the true nature. That's a part of the true nature. I think a lot of people probably scare themselves because they're very unaware of their true nature. And maybe you assume that your true nature is just one other aspect of yourself, when really there's a multitude of versions of you, okay? Because we're multifaceted, multi-dimensional beings. And when you're true to that, when you understand that, when you comprehend that, and when you're content with that, then you don't have to look for help, support, assistance outside of you, because you know how to call all of those different energies to the front for yourself, okay? Because there's a side of you. There's parts of you that come up and protect certain parts of you. There's parts of you that pull you back, like how you know when you're revved up and getting ready to fight, and your friends come and grab you and say, "Nah, don't do it, don't do it, come on, come on." Well, there's parts of you that's in you that'll do that too. You ever been so heated and so ready to snap off, and then something in you tells you, "Don't do that, don't do that." Well, that's that part of you that's I don't know. I mean, it would be different depending on what signs you have and different planets and what planets you have in different houses and all of that good stuff. That's why it's important to know your chart. But we have all of these different help centers within us that keep us balanced. And when you acknowledge them, they work for you. That's all I'm saying, ultimately. Okay, ultimately, that's all I'm saying. And the true nature is where all of those energies live, okay? I would hope that everyone is being true to themselves. And if you're not, then it's time to take a deeper look into that hidden treasure, okay? And where you can start is by getting a chart. If you've gotten your chart and it looks foreign to you, okay, get an analysis, get someone to break it down, or do your own due diligence and be willing to put the work in to research what each thing means. Google can be your best friend in a lot of stuff. Google is a positive tool if you use it in a positive way. If you are afraid of Google, or you don't like Google, or you think Google lies, that's fine. I'm not here to debate any of that. Then go old school route and get books and get understanding from other people's perspective. Because one thing about it, and two things for sure, when you are seeking knowledge and you are led to read this book, led to read this article, led to get on this blog, you're going to find bits and pieces of information that's going to align with your own logic and your own emotion. And where logic and emotion connect, that's your truth. Okay, where logic and emotion connect, that's your truth. So you're not reading a book to take on the totality of what this person put in the book, because that's how they see things. That's how they view. That works for them. It was their truth and they shared it in the book. Same way with different articles and different blogs that you may find on Google. But once you read enough of them, then you begin to make your own conclusion. You come up with your own understanding, okay? Because your mind, you're not dumb. None of us are. We came here with intelligence. Your own intelligence is going to kick in and rewrite everything that you just read in a format that is conducive to what is true for you. Okay, so that's why it's important to research. That's why it's important to read. That's why it's important to ask questions, because when you ask questions, all of the universe begins to conspire in your favor to bring you these answers. And it is up to you to place these answers where they belong. Okay, to place these answers where they belong. Okay, so do your due diligence and research your chart. Okay, do your own analysis, because people charge. I do. I'm sorry. I heard my neighbor out there yelling. I do offer chart analysis, but I also charge, okay? Because it takes a lot out of anybody that does chart analysis to analyze your chart for you and to give you a breakdown of what each of these things mean. It takes a while to combine and give you a compilation and a wide understanding of you. Okay, so you are welcome to comment that you would like an analysis, okay? And I will gladly shoot you the information on how to move further with that, as well as pricing and all of that. But there's something that you can do for yourself, and it's fun. It's fun finding out about different aspects of you, whether it's on the front street or hidden, right? It's fun because you're like, now how they know this? I feel attacked. This feels entirely too personal. But that's how you know that there's truth, or at least a little truth, in everything. And when the student is ready, its teachers appear. So anytime you begin to desire knowledge, oh, it's coming. And you must be ready. Okay, you must be ready. So I'm going to show this card again. I love the imagery. I love the chakras. I love the serpent wrapping around the heart chakra. The image on this card is very powerful. Okay, I love the way the crown chakra is lit with a sun disc. Okay, the fire down by the root chakra, very, very potent energy radiating from this card. Okay, so do as you will with it. I'm not going to break down what I feel from it, because that's my interpretation. I'm receiving the energy that my divine understanding is given, but you should be feeling something from this card too, because it is powerful. Okay, but ultimately I just want everybody to understand that their true nature is available to them. Don't hide it, don't shun it, because when you do, it's almost like you are cutting off aspects of yourself. Okay, you don't truly know thyself. You don't truly understand you. And that's how a lot of people get manipulated. That's how a lot of people get used and abused, because there are people who may understand you and know that you don't understand you, so they'll take those energies, or they'll take that power and use it against you. Okay, so know thyself, learn thyself, and nothing comes before you. Love thyself. Okay, this will take time. This will take time, unless you're already on the journey. Then, depending on where you are on the journey, will determine, where you're at with it. But if you're new to it, don't expect instant results. Don't expect instant gratification. Okay? The gratification comes from you just doing the work, loving on you, being gentle with you, being kind with you. And let me tell you something, once you begin to do that type of work, you also extend that type of energy out into the world. Okay, if you've often thought, I want to be a better person, I want to be a nicer person, I want to be a kinder person, in a world that is so totally opposite of that, well, when you begin to do that for yourself and to yourself and in yourself and through yourself, oh honey, you'd be surprised the way you will bestow that same energy out, and you will be the change that you want to see. Okay, I'm going to end it right there, because I could talk on and on and on and on and on and on and on about this because I am a firm believer that we only came here to master ourselves anyway, and there's so much going on around us to distract us from doing that if you don't get the opportunity to tap into doing this in this lifetime, it's almost a guarantee that you will reincarnate and have to start all over, because you must do this. You must master self. You must find your true nature. It's the only way to call your power back to you. Okay. All right, good people. If you watch this in its entirety, I thank you so much. May you receive all this time and energy back. This is where we part. If you would like any type of reading, understanding, charts done, chart analyzations, scroll over to the about section, scroll down, and how to contact me is in that description. Okay, but again, I thank you so much for watching this in its entirety. Namaste, and have a wonderful day.